When it comes to art and animation in video games, there's really no limit. You can have things as complicated as you want or as simple as you want, and they're both as valid as one another. It's up to the game designers to decide how important animation is to their game, and this decision could be based on how intricate or minimalist the art and aesthetics are. There's one game I've been following and have been excited to play, and it's finally out on Switch, and that's the glorious 1-bit styled Gato Roboto, a metroidvania, or catroidvania, or meowtroidvania, where you play as a cat in a badass mech suit on an alien planet. So, let's discuss its animation. Okay, so something I love about it first of all is how much it achieves with so little. Much like Downwell and Minute, Gato Roboto focuses on minimalist design, with tones and shades being represented by cross-hatching, dots and patterns, and constructing character and environmental design with simple shapes and concepts. There's movement in so many tiny places for how limited the design is, such as steam, dripping water, fans, swaying plants and foliage, dust when you run and jump, debris from damaged crates and enemies, spinning propellers on flying things, heat shimmer in hot places, bubbles underwater, rotating cogs and flashing lights, and all manner of things that keep the screen looking interesting and varied while coherent and concise. It's a lot like Fez in that there's lots of little things happening all over the screen that keep it from looking static and dull. Kiki's idle pose has 3 or 4 frames of traditional bouncing on the spot. You get a fair bit of information from this, like how steady the gun is, the little antenna that bounces, and just the bulkiness of the suit with her cute, happy little face poking out from the helmet. Her run cycle is snappy, energetic and heavy, with the gun barrel staying dead still, so you can judge properly where your shot will land. How she's pushed back from a rocket launch gives a real sense of power behind the weaponry. When she's out of the suit, she also has cute movements like her own little bouncing idle animation, a cheeky little run, and obviously cats can run up walls. I love her expression as she begins to slide back down. True concern. Effects animation is nice, like gunshots having this little afterglow, rockets giving a satisfying impact, the double jump making use of that pattern I mentioned earlier as an afterimage. The dash has these cool little speed lines, and the explosions are just ace. The animator on the game, Miroko, fleshed out these explosions with a few keyframes at a time before filling in the old in-betweens, to get it looking as smooth as possible. And indeed, this is how he went about all the animations on the game, taking care with what little he had to work with. But there's some particular pieces of animation that I think really makes this game stand out. Not just as a Metroidvania, but as a game by itself, and that's all this stuff around the outside of the playing area. Now, once you have all the power-ups, your screen becomes filled with information which, while isn't important to look at, is interesting to look at. When you take damage, your health bar wobbles. Your map is kept up to date with these coordinates here whenever you enter a new screen. When you fire your missiles, the temperature gauge goes up with the little fan rotating there. When you dash, the circle powers back up. When you double jump, the spin logo rotates to signal that this has happened. I love that this is the interface of the suit that's kind of communicating what's going on to you. But what I love the most is Kiki's little expression box right over here. When it's standard, she's just got a happy little smile on her face. But when she fires, she has a hardcore expression. When she double jumps, defeats bosses and refills energy, she has a happy little expression on her face. And this is my favourite. When she double jumps into an enemy, which causes them damage, she has this smug little smile which is just absolutely wonderful. What this does, and indeed all of the other interaction animations, is give us insight into Kiki's character, this happy, carefree little minx on a rampage. It also reinforces little snippets we see out of the expression box, like when Kiki first approaches water. Animator Morocco has done a fantastic job in representing expressions everywhere, and ultimately something this game excels at is depicting an interesting, rich and varied world that feels alive with such tight limitations, and yet it doesn't feel crowded, confusing or contrived. Before we sign off this short video, something I rarely bring up but is so incredibly important to not just animation, but the visual medium in general, is the bloody sound design. Gato Roboto sounds great, and it fits with the animation perfectly. Everything sounds clunky and metallic and rustic and satisfying. If you're a fan of metroidvanias, if you're a fan of animation, if you're a fan of interesting art styles, if you're a fan of sound design, if you're a fan of indie games, get this game. Okay, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed this little one. Do pop along to my Patreon page and have a look at some of the rewards you can get for helping to fund this channel. And if you liked it, you know what to do. Chat to you in the comments. Love you, bye.